is if you had a
Uh
daughter
Oh yeah.
or a loved one that's a woman, like what would you do to prepare them to like start dating men? Like what are some things you would do or tell them to give them the proper tools, mental proper tools
well, I think
to go out there and date?
with a daughter, I think, and I've done work with kids. I ain't never raised a girl, but it starts with the man. She's watching how her daddy is moving and operating. That's the type of man that she's gonna want. However, her daddy is operating every day. If he's sweet to her, talk polite, everything, however he's moving, that's the type of man she's gonna be attracted to. I think.
Eh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I was gonna
if
say that
her daddy
exact
is
thing.
sitting around at home all day, every day, and the mama is working, you know what type of man she's gonna get? A man that sits at
Yeah.
home while she's the one going to work. They're
So
gonna emulate. If they got a dad that's a workaholic, she gonna find a workaholic. If they got a dad that's talking sweet to her, that's what they're gonna find. Them type of dudes. I think it goes off the dad, is
so
what I
I
think.
guess I guess that's why you
so
got these ladies all over the place because they ain't got no dads in the crib and
Well,
you
that's
know.
one of the biggest issues in the black community. And it starts when the kid is 5 months old, 6 months old, one, two, three, four,
yeah.
five. That's when it starts. It's too late when they get in the teens. It's too late.
But the
You got to
question
start it
Yeah.
early.
is what are you gonna do to
So
prepare them?
so
Right.
so let me jump in on that real quick, Corey. I wanna commend you. I completely agree with that. I got 5 girls, man, 5 girls and 2 boys. And what I know, my mom used to. I'm not sure. My mom, somebody used to always say, or I heard a saying that um, a girl's first relationship is with her father. Their first relationship is with their father, and I can honestly say that that is true with my daughters. So, how do you prepare them? You prepare them by being the man that they should aspire to be with, and then it comes from again. I'm an advocate of a 2-parent household, so their first relationship is with you as a father. However, their first example of how they should be or they should feel in a relationship is how they see you love their mother. Those two things prepare them. The nurturing, the being a superhero, the carefulness, that individual relationship that child has, that little girl has from infancy up to adolescence is the example that you're putting in front of them. How they should be when they start to see themselves in their mother, they start to see how the role that their mother plays in the dynamic between the father and the mother. And that's how she understands the woman that she needs to be. And I think those examples are how you prepare your daughters. How I prepare my daughters as well is that when they became teenagers, when they got to the point where I knew there were going to be some male interactions, I kept it 100% real with my daughters. I didn't sugarcoat anything. I didn't make anything seem like it was going to be hearts and rainbows. When they first started thinking about boyfriends and sex, and I tried to tell them, I said, listen, this is what it is. This is how the world is. I want you to understand that I'm not with the first person I had sex with, but she felt just like you. So I'm trying to let you know, if you have any self-respect for yourself, you might as well wait. I did that all the way through high school. So I got virgins mostly through high school. Got to college. I tried to tell them. It's a whole lot of women that thought that thought I loved them. They thought we was gonna be together. That I was with in college. Not with none of them. Save yourself. It took me 35 years to find who I was supposed to be with. I even went through a whole marriage and I didn't do it right. So I give them real life examples. I tell them at 16 years old, don't no boy love you. A boy love what he ain't experienced. Well, that's vagina. That's all he's trying to get to. And that's the truth. Now, if you want to give that, understand you're giving that, and there's nothing in return that you can get that's going to be good. Nothing. The pleasure ain't worth it. The satisfaction ain't worth it. The smiles, the giggles, none of that's worth it. So I give my daughters the harsh reality, and I think they respect me for it. What I also love about the fact that I've been that way with my daughters is that they can come talk to me. All of my daughters have came and talked to me about their first boyfriends, their situations. They ask me advice, and I tell them, "Nah, this nigga ain't about nothing."
Yeah.
So my thing is being honest, being upfront, and being.
Because Ken, you tough on the outside, but you cotton candy on the inside. You know that?
Hey, they don't know that. They don't know that though.
Candy, man. You're a good person, man. You're a good person. Yo.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah,
So I hear I hear what y'all had to say, but what about structure when it comes to dating? What about structure they should be looking for when it comes to how the man is, setting his life up?
Well, that's the build up. That's the build up from 1 up until 8 to 12. That's the build up. So by the time she gets in the teens, she kind of got it down pat because you've been building it up over the years. So by the time
that still doesn't.
I got you.
That still doesn't teach you how to date, what to look for specifically, what are the red flags.
Yes,
you get what I'm saying? Like it still gets deeper than just looking at what your parents are doing.
Right. So what they
not really. So
what they did. Hold on.
Ahead, Mike.
What they did was laid the foundation. What Ken and Corey was talking about, laying the foundation. You lead by example first. Now, once you become of age of dating, now you got to switch your parenting style from a father to a mentor or a coach. Like Ken was saying, men only want one thing from the jump. And after that, it's up to you to provide more than that. That's what I tell my daughter, straight up and down. When a man looks at you and he's attracted to you, he wants sex. The same thing when you look at him. When you look at a man, you find him attractive, you say to yourself, I can see myself having sex with him. And that's just, it is what it is. And I let my daughter know that these are normal feelings. To want to have sex with somebody that you're attracted to, that's normal, first and foremost. Because I don't want my daughter to feel weird or feel bad because she finds somebody attractive. We can't control who we're attracted to. When you turn around and lock eyes with somebody, you can't turn it on and off if you're attracted. So we get that out the way first. That feeling is normal. It's natural. The second thing I try to teach, because the daughter got to listen too, but what I try to teach is action speaks louder than words. Women fall in love with words. Men fall in love with what we see. I let them know out the gate. We're hunters. We're the predator. You're the prey. We're gonna say, we're gonna do, we're gonna keep going until we get what we want. I said, it's up to you to protect yourself. A man can say all he wants, and it can sound as good as it could just sound like, sweet music from heaven. But if a man ain't walking that walk, like he talking that talk, beware. As far as the sex, they can't say it. Wait, they're not gonna listen though. They got to go out there and bump their head. But we still laying the seeds, the foundation. We still laying the seeds regardless. Because when they get out there and see that what we said was true, then they'll turn around and they'll turn around faster than they will if we didn't ever give them the game.
Right. Because they'll see the red flags early. You set the foundation.
I've had my kids come back and tell me, Dad, you were right. Dad, you were right. Dad, you were right. Because we give them the game. We give them the game. They think we old and stupid, but we give them the game, and then they be like, yeah. And then they go out there and they be like, God, dog, he was right. He was right. Everything you said, he was right.
Let me tell you why that's really important, though. The reason why that's important is the reason why I give my daughters the truth is because when girls get out there and they get into these emotional situations, it's always the unknown. It's the question marks. Does he like me? Does he really want me? Is he gonna call me? Is he mess with somebody else? A little boy and even some men will never answer that question truthfully. I give them the truth up front. You ain't gotta question. Does this boy really like me, or if he just playing around? No, he don't really like you. He just want to have sex. Is he gonna be faithful? No, he's not. He just want to have sex. Is he gonna be with me forever? No, he's not gonna be with you forever. The reason why I give them the truth is because when they become grown, right? Now you can make your decision based on the truth. If you want to control that situation, say, okay, well, I just want to have sex. I ain't gonna be emotionally attached to this. Now it's your choice of what you're doing. I don't ever want my daughters, and even though you can't prevent it, I don't want them to be in a heartbreak situation. If my daughters get their heart broken, it surely won't be for my lack of telling them the truth and forewarning them.
Right. I tell my daughters this too. I let them know about their nature. Women love an experience. This is why women will sleep with Pookie, you know what I'm saying, future type guys. They love an experience. They'll jump on the yacht. They'll go on a date with you. They're not attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? They love an experience.
Yeah, and because they love the experience, I feel like no matter how great of a parent you are, they're gonna throw most of that out the window for that experience. Like
that's why you give them the game.
From what I've seen, women, they live and die by the experience until they get in their 30s, and then they're like, all right, now I'm gonna listen to what my dad said, and it's like it's too late. Like,
but Joey, that's why I give them the game, because I know she's gonna run those red lights. But if you drop those seeds, when she does run that red light, step in that room and try to have an experience, and she sees something off, it'll click what was told to her, and then it's up to her at that point whether she's gonna listen to the words that was given to her or run that red light. I would rather arm them with the information, because a woman gonna do what they're gonna do. Period. That's why I never been the guy with the shotgun at the door threatening the boyfriend about woo woo.
Yeah, I don't even like those dads. I don't like those.
You can't do that nowadays, man. You're gonna get a case.
I'm just saying.
But still, it's those dads too. It's like, dude, if you lay out the foundation, you won't need a shotgun.
Right.
You know, it's those, yeah.
But your daughter's got to listen too, though. Like Joey said, your daughter got to listen. You give her all the game you want, but if she want to give it up, if she want to throw them legs in the air like a peace sign, that's what she gonna do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can go on a yacht, girl. All you gotta do is XYZ. A yacht? I ain't never been on a yacht.
Well, I apologize. I was a little distracted, but let me throw something else in there too, bro. I think this is very important. So I'm never. My biggest thing was I don't ever want, and I'll be honest with you. There have been a lot of girls that I've gotten with. Let's just call it that. Hooked up with. That's what they call it nowadays. Hooked up with, and because their self-esteem was low, because I could bring value to them and do things for them that they couldn't do. They couldn't get done anywhere else, right? So what I do with my daughters is I make sure that I got them. So there's nothing that a dude can come and entice them with that they can't get from me. So anybody that they deal with gonna have to outdo me. It's crazy. So I think that sets the standard as well.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Man,
a lot of men out there, they prey on the insecurities. They play on what these women can't do and can't have and can't get. So to have a present father and a father that cares and loves, it's hard. Like, bro, I ain't gonna trip. It was some chicks that I was trying to get with. When I found out your daddy got everything taken, what am I gonna do? All I could do is give you this D. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it don't go so long. You know what I'm saying?
It's another thing, Ken. I told my daughters, my oldest one, you are a walking brand. How you dress and how you act, men are gonna size you up and they're gonna go for the kill.
Mm-hmm.
So if you out here dressing a certain way, if you out here silly, you know what I'm saying, or just silly. When a guy see a silly chick, he don't think about nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
He thinking about one thing, and one thing only: what she's useful for.
Exactly.
There's no silly chick you taking serious, because you know you don't want a silly chick by your side, a goofy chick, a chick that's always giggling and always want to party. So I tell my daughter, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but just know, if you're gonna be a walking brand and you put yourself out there in a certain way, these are the outcomes that you're gonna get.
Man, I don't know how y'all do it as fathers, man. Being a father to a lady, man, it's tough, man, because it's like, you know, she gonna be naive to certain things, and you can't be there to always save her, man. I don't know how I would be able to handle that, man. I don't know how y'all handle that. That's crazy, man.
It's tough.
You know, that's like
honestly,
that's like
bro,
you being worth $2 million and all your money's on the line. Like, I ain't gonna sleep. Like, all my money's on the line 24/7. I can't sleep now. That's how I felt. That's how I would feel about, you know, my daughter if I had one. I don't know how I do it, man.
you know, I think honestly too, bro. I think my daughters respect that I've always told them who I am as a father. who I was as a man. You know what I mean? And they can look at that, and you know, I, I got a whole lot under my belt, and I try to let them know is that like I was savvy, I understood, I talked, I played the game. You need to stay away from that, because most of those little girls, they lost something. Pause. Let me say that again. Most of those women, they gave a part of themselves, right? And do you want to be that statistic? What's your value? Like, what's your brand, right? So I think they could respect the reality of it, and I think that um the way that I sleep at night is that I put them out there with armor. You know what I'm saying? They all savvy. They all understand. They all have the truth. And if you go sideways, you know, they got bear powered pepper spray, and they know how to shoot. So, you know, I sleep pretty well at night.
Right. Even if my kids, like you said, even if my daughters go sideways, they still armed with the information to correct course, and not just go down the rabbit hole and have 6 kids by 4 different men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shit.
Yep.
Nowadays, have 6 kids by 7 different men. You know that can happen nowadays. Oh man. Corey, explain it.
Pause.